What's worse than a $20 grinder? Not having a grinder at all. Hey guys, Christian Batcher coming at you with Solo Macchiato. Today we're gonna talk about this $20 grinder. 20 bucks. You really apparently don't need a $100 grinder, $200 hand grinder, $400 to $600 grinders over here to just get started with good coffee at home. Stop using that pre-ground stuff. Get any grinder. At first, I wasn't even going to buy it, but then I said, you know what? Why are the reviews on it so good? Let's try it out. It's actually not a bad little device. It's got externally adjustable grind settings. Externally adjustable. You don't have to fiddle around with the little clicks on the inside. 40 of them, to be exact. 40 grind settings. Okay. It's got conical burrs that are ceramic. Not the greatest, but they will be durable. And a lot of people actually really enjoy the flavor profiles, the note profiles that come with these, especially, for darker roasts and whatnot. It's got this glass catch can, which is great, less retention. Pretty decent handle. Doesn't sit on very well, but you know what? It actually doesn't interfere at all with the operation. The only downside that I noticed is that there is no way to actually open it up completely and clean it. However, if you bring it all the way up to coarseness level 40, you can get this included brush and get right in there and really get all the grinds out. Oh, look, I got a couple of grinds on here. That's okay. That's the fun of making coffee. To really put it through some testing today, we're going to try espresso, which is going to be the real hard test, and a pour over as well. I've got everything going there. Pour over, we're going to be using a grind setting 20, and for espresso, we're going to be using a grind setting 2. They recommend 3 to 5, but I found that you do have to grind a little finer with it, even though we're going to be using a medium roasted coffee. Without any further ado, let's get brewing. Today we're going to be grinding up this amazing Brazilian coffee. But before we move on, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It costs you nothing, but it means the world to me. Let's make some coffee. We've got our 13.5 gram dose that we'll be using for 200 grams of coffee. Still plenty of space left in the hopper. Let's see how long it takes to grind. 42 seconds of grinding later, you can see there's some larger grounds in there. The uniformity is not great, but also not terrible. Let's see how it tastes. Fourth and last pour, and we'll see how long it takes to draw down. I'd say that was 2 minutes and 53 seconds. Let's try it. Next, we're going to pull a shot of espresso. Here's the real test. 14.5 grams in. We're going to aim for 29 grams out. We might actually get some pretty promising results. We're getting really close, and 28, right at 26 seconds. And we are back. Let's start with the espresso. Always give it a nice little stir, and let's see how it tastes. That's actually pretty balanced. Flavor profile is not very intense, but it has pretty good body, and that is really not a bad espresso. That was actually the most surprising part of all of this. Okay, wow, that really wasn't bad. Next, we're gonna try the pour over. Pour it nice and high. I had to wait for it to cool down a little bit. That's why I had the espresso first. I made the espresso and I had it. Always let your coffee cool down a bit. It really brings all the notes out. Very little body, I'm noticing with this, but there's some clarity there. And the flavor profile is present. Not super intense, but it is there. I'll tell you right now, though, way better than what I've been able to do with pre-ground coffee or what I've seen my wife do with pre-ground coffee. So overall, really not a bad little grinder. I would actually recommend this for anyone who's getting into the coffee game, for someone who just wants to elevate their coffee game a bit from using pre-ground coffee in a filter. For 20 bucks, you really can't go wrong with it. You could use so many really good coffees out there with this and really branch out, from the stuff that sits on a grocery store shelf for months at a time. Would I use it for very light roasts? Definitely not. It definitely struggled even at a grind setting 2 for espresso, and even for pour over, we definitely could have come down a little bit in grind settings, but I don't know at that point how many fines we're going to get and how much we're going to clog up our filter. But I would stick to medium, or darker, medium and darker roasts, and I think you'd be able to do really well. And here's a fun fact. If you go to a small artisan roaster, the darkest stuff that they carry is the equivalent of a medium roast at the grocery store, or the big green giants who give you a blonde roast that's actually very, very darkly roasted. So overall, would I buy this as a travel grinder if I don't want to spend $100 plus on a big name one? Yeah, I would. Because again, a cheap grinder is 1,000 times better than no grinder at all. I'm going to put the link down in the comments, and then if you guys have any other comments or questions, please drop them below, and I will do everything possible to answer them. Till then, remember, life is beautiful.